Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is teaching you guys how to create the twin from the Devil's Carnival. This look was actually requested by Rainy Night. I'll put their name there, so thanks so much for the request. It's quite a fun one to do. It does use quite a bit of liquid latex, I'll say that now. You haven't got to use a liquid latex, it does give a bigger brow piece than the cheekbones. It adds to it, so I think it looks cool like that, but it's up to you guys. Yeah, it's relatively easy, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. So if you want to see how to recreate this look, stay tuned. I've never actually done a reptilian look before, so I don't know how this is going to turn out, so it might be interesting. So the first thing I'm going to do is block out my eyebrows. So I'll put a link here to one of my previous tutorials, the first half, teaching you guys how to block your eyebrows out, just so I can make some time up in this video. So okay, so I'm going to block out my eyebrows and I'll get back to you. So now my eyebrows are all dry, I can start on the next step. Now make sure you've really completely covered your brows. I mean, just to make sure, I've done a layer of spirit gum, a layer of wax, and then another layer of spirit gum, just so they're completely covered. Because what I'm going to be doing is applying liquid latex directly to the wax that's covering my eyebrows. It's completely safe, don't worry, it's not going to pull out any hairs. I've done it plenty of times in previous tutorials. As long as you know none of your hairs are showing at all. So if you do pull anything off, it's going to be the wax when you take it off, I mean. So what I've done is now is I've got some tissue paper, to put on it in two, so I've got the thinner half, and the idea is that I'm going to take small strips of it and I'm going to coat it in liquid latex and start layering up my forehead, because I want my forehead to be raised and I want the area under my cheeks to be raised as well. This is just rather than using prosthetics, which I would rather use prosthetics, I think, but it seems to be more popular me doing it this way for you guys at the moment, because it's a little bit easier for you guys to recreate yourselves as opposed to prosthetics. So yeah, so I'm going to take my liquid latex and a small sponge, and I find it easier to cut a sponge into a tiny little square like that, so it's easy to apply. And I'm going to start coating the areas where I want the prosthetics to be. So I'm going to make it probably about to here, I think. Yeah, so my entire forehead, stopping just at the base, not the base, just at my eye socket line. And I'm also going to cover this area here under my eyes. But the idea is I'm going to have a line here and here, so it'll accentuate the eye bags and my nasal labial folds, but you'll see where I'm going. So that's the shape I've gone for, so it'll make my nasal labial folds and my eye bags really stand out, because they're just going to have makeup on and the skin in between it is going to be raised quite a bit, especially on my cheekbone. I think I'm going to make them extra sharp. So now that's done, I can do another coat of latex, but the idea is now I'm going to take small strips of the tissue, and as I'm putting the latex on, I can stick a layer of the tissue on as well. So if I just make that a bit smaller and just take the latex and start on my eyebrow like this, I can take the tissue and just really saturate it in and just press it in like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that all over my forehead and my cheeks. Make sure to leave a tiny bit of latex at the edge, because you need to be able to blend it. So this is the shape that I'm going for. So I'm going to let that dry and I'm going to apply quite a few coats. What I'll do is I'll apply probably about 5 coats in total, probably 5 here, and 5 here, and then 3 and then 1 just at the end, because you want the edges to taper off. So we want the very edge of the latex just to be latex on its own. Okay, so more layers in the middle, fading outwards. So there we are. So you can see how many layers I've put on. So I put on about 5 to 6 layers here, 3 layers, then 2, and I'll just let it taper off so there's no edge. But you can see how much it sticks forward. Yeah, so not like ridiculously far forward, but it's enough to make the eyes look really sunken, even without makeup. Okay, so now we can start on the next step. So I think I'm going to layer these colours up, because there's hints of yellow, hints of, obviously it's green, and there's hints of darker green. So I'm going to do it first with block colours, and then I'll start blending afterwards, so it might look silly for a little bit. So I'm going to be using 3 Snazaroo colours at first, I think. So I'm going to use Snazaroo, lime green, yellow, and grass green, I believe that is. Yep. So I'll start off by applying the lime green everywhere. Just be careful that when you apply it to the latex in particular, just dab it on rather than stroke it on, because you might accidentally peel up the edges. I'm then going to take some of the grass green and I'm going to apply that on my eyes, and I think down on top of the prosthetics, just tapering it out a little bit. So once I've done that, I mean, as I said, it does look quite silly now. It's going to look fairly blocky, I think, until I start blending it out, but I'll do that last. So now I'm going to take the yellow, and I think I'm going to use that as a highlighter for random areas of the face, just for different areas, like mainly down the bridge of the nose, say, and areas of the chin. So not just contouring, but it's going to be also for just highlighting random scales that I'm going to paint on, like here and here, and yeah. Okay, so that's the pattern that I've gone for. I also, sorry I missed this bit out, I just quickly put some grass green down there and the yellow down the centre as well. Yeah. So now I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, and what I'm going to do is I'll make this a tiny bit wet. Not like a huge amount, just enough that I can blend these watercolours. So now, in a style that I would a kabuki brush, but this is a lot fluffier than a kabuki brush, so I'm not going to hopefully destroy the edges of these prosthetics, the latex, but the idea is now I'm going to start buffing this in really slowly, so there's no edges of these lines, and all the colours should hopefully merge into one, and you should just see random highlights and traces of the original colour. Yeah. I'm then going to take my M.A.C black Fluidline in black track, which is, as I always say, because I use it a lot, it's basically a black cream you can use for the fluid line of your eye. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to colour the entire of my eyelid, everything, including my waterline, and I'm going to draw a line up to where the prosthetic starts, so the eye bag, and I'm going to go to exactly the same on top to about just before the socket starts. So now I've done that, I can take a clean brush and I can start blending this colour out as far as I can get. Not so much up, I mean I'll blend it up a little bit into the crease. Make sure to make the arch slightly higher here so it looks more angry but rounded. So that kind of a shape. So high here, low here, but still round. But you can go quite far down to about here with the black if you wanted to, just to pull it down to points. Okay, so just keep on going, keep on blending, and you should start getting something that looks like this, or should start resembling this anyway. What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to quickly take some of the grass green again, and I'm just going to quickly go really lightly over the black, just to give it a tiny hint of green as well. Not like a huge amount, just a tiny bit, and then I can just smudge that all over the black. I'm just going to take the black down the nasal labial folds as well, tiny bit, and follow it around the nose. And just do exactly the same thing as I did with this, just blend and blend and blend until it's gone. Don't blend inwards, blend outwards. So there we are, so we should start looking like this. Don't worry if you've got any random areas of colour that's not blended, or you've still got bits of yellow shining through. That's the idea, so that when we draw the lines on for the scales, random scales will start shining, well not shining, but sticking out on their own, and that will set it apart, and we don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical anyway. So now that's done, I can start on the lines. So I was going to, I've never done this before, so I was going to do it the way that most people would do it. It would just put a net over the face and then powder it or paint it, so you've got like a scale effect. But as these scales are going in a specific direction, I'm going to draw these on by hand. So my plan is to take the black fluid line, the M.A.C black fluid line that I've used on my eyes, draw on with a really fine eyeliner pen the detail that I want, growing in one direction on all over my face, and then cross-hatching it. But then, because I don't want it to be black, the idea is, because it's a cream, I'll go over the whole face with a yellow. Right, so I'm going to start drawing on the lines that I want, going, so it looks like it's going across the face and up, and then downwards towards the chin. Yeah. So when I'm happy with the lines that I've drawn, I'm going to do the horizontal lines. Now these ones I don't want to be particularly straight. I want them to be asymmetrical and just completely, I mean, up and down. As long as it's going one direction, we don't want it to be straight, basically, because we want each of these scales to be a different shape. I'm really sorry, but annoyingly, my camera didn't record the last step, and it's really bugging me. But what I did was I finished drawing the lines quickly, and then I went over everything with a really big fluffy brush and the yellow, and just really lightly buffed on a coat just to brighten this up, so that I can brighten the colour up, and so I can see the lines through it as well. So yeah, I'm sorry it didn't record. Yay, technology. So now I'm going to actually go in with a cream by Grimas. Number 401, if I can get it off the palette. There we go. It's a really dark green cream. It's really nice, and hopefully it should show up over the top of this colour. So I'm going to do exactly the same again. I'm going to just go over lines, making it darker in some places, fading off in areas, over the lines that I've just drawn. So eventually it should start looking like this. Okay? So some areas are a lot darker than other areas. I've just tapered it off in others. So yeah. So once I've done that, I'm going to do the same pattern on my neck, but the lines go inwards, so towards the middle of your neck. So I'll quickly do that and get back to you. I'm then going to take a black Barry M number 37 lipstick, and I'm going to apply that really messily, basically. Not in any shape. It's just going to go on top of my lips, and I'm going to smoke it out with my finger, so it's going to be completely messy. As long as it goes into a messy point here, stopping just at the end of your chin, it's fine. So just keep messing it out, so it's really messy and smudgy. And yeah, actually I'm going to apply some of this lipstick to under my eye, just in the eye bag area, because I like that shine it's giving. Applying lipstick to your eyes, you know, when you're on my channel. So just smoke it out with your finger in the same pattern it was on before. Yeah, I think that's better, the fact that it's shiny. The contact lenses that I've just popped in are just 2 yellow contact lenses with no edge to them. I should point out, don't try to draw these lines on too dark. I know I keep saying, but in the film he has them, but you can only see them when you're really close up. So it's kind of looks like a faded tattoo in the film. It's a bit bizarre, but yeah, that's the effect. And I haven't covered my ears because the wig's going to cover that. Bit cheating, but hey ho. So that's it. So I popped on a black wig that's nearly shoulder length, that's straight, and I've just done a centre parting down the middle. I've popped on a jacket. I mean, in the film he has a red leather jacket, and unfortunately I don't have one of those, so I'm going to have to make do with this, I'm afraid. And a black shirt and a neck ruffle, not a neck ruffle, but this jobby. Some black gloves, and of course the iconic hat, which, hang on if I can show you it. Yep, there we are. Sorry it's so crude. I didn't have a lot of time to make it, so yeah. With the D and G buckle in the middle. Let's just say that stands for Devil and God for now. Yeah. If you want to know how to make a hat like this, just Google how to make a top hat, that kind of thing. And obviously you just know to really elongate it and have the middle bowing in it. Yeah. So there's a better look of it. It's not brilliant, but it does the job. As long as it looks old and rustic and falling apart, that's the idea, I think. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you like it, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye.